Good morning, this is the Hammond Built channel. I'm CJ, this is E36, and we're going to continue on with our rocker fitment and installation. We left off last time with getting everything underneath welded into place, cleaned up, primered, ready to go. We fitted the rocker to all three pillars, made a nice tight gap for welding. I got the underside covered in weld through on all the joints, got the underside of the car cleaned back a little bit farther and weld through on it as well. Went through and widened all the holes in the doors so that I could weld from the inside out, as they're already there. Why drill more holes and half fill things? We also got the rocker panel all cleaned up on all the joints so that they're ready to be welded, with weld through on the backside where all the welding is going to be done. We're going to get that up. We're going to tack everything in place, get it fitted up nice before we burn it in 100%. Try to keep our welds small. I'll go over my weld settings. Like I said before, may or may not work for you. This is how my welder works. It works pretty well. Had it for a while, so I understand where my settings need to be for what I do believe is 20 gauge to 20 gauge. It might be 18 to 18. I never really checked, but they weld pretty good together already. But with that, I'll get to my welder showing my settings, and then we'll get to fitting this into place and tacking it back up. Okay, so this is my Lincoln MIG-PAC 180. I call it about a hobbyist welder. You can buy these at most big box stores like Canadian Tire, Rona, Lowe's, stuff like that. Decently priced, will get the job done for everything you do at home. This is a 20 or 40 cubic meter tank from Air Liquide with Blue Shield 8 mixed gas, so I believe it's 25% CO2 and 75% argon. We got our regulator up here, which controls our gas flow in CFMs. We have our dials. This one's for our heat. This one's for our wire feed, which you will adjust to what you need. Then we go and open it up. Spool of wire. I've got 023 in here. For most people starting off, this sheet will help you get started with everything you're doing. It gives you your gauge of sheet metal that you're using and what settings are the best. It'll do flux, so no gas, mixed gas, straight CO2, or aluminum. I've never used aluminum on this machine, but I'm sure it'll do it perfectly fine if you do it. With what we're doing, we're between either 18 or 20. I'm not sure what my gauge of sheet metal is. I didn't check. But you would come over and you would find your 18 gauge. I've got mixed gas. So we go 18 gauge, either 3B for 025. I have 023, which is close enough. So you would go 3B, and that would get you really started. This is your recommended gas flow, which again, recommended, everything can change. They recommend 30 to 40. I have mine set about 25 to 30, maybe a little bit higher than 30 on the flow meter there. Your front gauge tells you how much gas you have left. For what I've been doing, I found with this machine, it runs a little bit hotter. So I run A for the heat, which is a little bit colder, and about 3.5 to 4 on the wire feed, which gives me a nice tight weld, which we can see here. Keeps it small, keeps the heat low so you don't sink a bunch of heat into your panel. But overall, those are my settings. I would tweak from there for each welder. Like I said, this one runs a little hot. My one that's at work, which is a very similar one, but it has more heat settings, runs a bit colder, so I have to run it on a bit hotter of a setting. Everybody's a little bit different, but I'll get to showing all my welding that I did. Okay, so with it back on the car, we're going to start at the back here and work our way forward. We got it clamped in all right. I'm going to have to move it as I go. I only have so many vice grips. But what we're going to do is make sure that each of these corners are where they need to be, so that while I tack it, I can tack up here and then work my way down. This corner and this corner have completely different radiuses inside. Just the nature of a lot of aftermarket panels. This is not a BMW panel. This is just an aftermarket one from somewhere. So we're gonna hammer that in, get those tacked, work our way around to the corner down here, and then we'll get set up on the next one and work our way through each spot slowly so that this stays where it needs to be, and get it all set up. You want to make sure as you go, you keep these two panels as close to level as possible. It'll aid in the grinding to clean it up, and it'll help to use as little filler as possible when you go to smooth this all out. So with the starting of the tacks done, I had said before, this spot overlaps because this and this have two different radiuses. This is a much wider radius, this is a much tighter one. So what I'm gonna do is split this just a little bit here, open it up, and tuck these two in to bring it in so that when I do my filling and primer, I will blend it down in, and you'll never really see the fact that this changes radius as much as it does. I'm also not going to weld the arch to the rocker because it should be welded along here, only because I need to do some repairs to the arch. So I'm going to leave this till I do my arch work. But as you can see, so far, tacked in, there's almost nothing sticking above, which is what you want so that when you grind it smooth, it stays nice and thick there. I'm sure there'll be some people saying that you should have a backing pad that you weld on this side, put some holes through on here, weld the seam and it. You can do that. That's a way a lot of manufacturers tell you you should do repairs like this. I build body panels on an almost daily basis, maybe not big panels like this, but I do build patch panels and stuff like this, and we butt weld everything together. This is just as strong, just as good as everything else. If you make sure that these are level together, that you're not overlapping it weird, it'll be fine. You can also do a stepped edge running underneath plugs and weld as well. There's lots of different ways, many ways to skin a cat here. This is the way that I do it. It's the way that I was taught by some really good old timers in the hot rod industry. So this is the way that the E36 is getting done. But like I said, tons of people do it different ways. So choose your way. This is the way I like, and this is how it's going to be done. right here, I drilled a hole for the top of the jack point. The OEM had one here, so we're going to return a weld point right there. Then we're going to get our tube for the jack point. I have a bigger open end clamp, which helped to bring this right up to here. So now it's seated against the back pad inside. This sticks out just as far as it needs to. We're going to put a tack on either corner and one on top and bottom, and then we'll come back and weld it all the way around. So now we have the entire back corner tacked into place, which is a good starting. We're going to work along here, and get these tacked into place, and then get the center bar tacked into place. Okay, so let's talk about how these went. You saw up here, these ones went really bad. I didn't clean them. That's what paint does to your welds. It will burn and it affects how your gas flows, and it's not great. So they don't look pretty, but they are solid. They're right through. These two went from the inside. There was a little bit paint left back here, so they splattered a little, but you can see that they are right through, like they're penetrated right through. That means there's a solid bond here. These ones you can see, very easy, just a quick spin and they filled up. They're relatively smooth to the surface as well. So that is this area completely tacked into place, ready to go. Nice and strong now. So we're going to continue on to our next area and do the exact same thing. We're going to fill some old welds, go along here with our tacks up and around, and then work our way through the driver's door on the inside, or the passenger front door through the inside, and get the entire top side tacked into place, as this is way more important than where the bottom lands. The bottom is going to find itself purely on the fact of this can only be in one place. So if this is sitting in the right place, which it is, the bottom will land where you need to go. You'll just have to push up on it. I'll either be able to I have a big bar clamp to go around it, or get creative and use my jack and a piece of wood and just push up on the bottom to keep the gap nice and tight. If you notice, with these ones, they burned in very nice because there's no gap back there. The weld through, no gap, they burned up very nice. Same with all the tacks here. If you have a very tight fitment, the tacks and the welds go a lot easier. If you have huge gaps, it'll burn away from either edge. It'll be very hard to weld. But with that, we're going to continue on and keep getting at this. So with all of that, we have all three welded up. Nice tight and small welds. You saw I had a couple little issues, especially around here. There's still some, I think the primer kind of reacted, a little bit of paint underneath, so blew through a couple spots, but we got them filled up. It's all welded in. We got all our rosé welds done in here on both sides. Welded from the top down on this side. Welded from the bottom up on this side, nice small welds right into the corner. You can see the penetration from the MIG from the top side down, which means it's nice and adhered to the body. I will be going along this edge and adding seam sealer when I get to body working. But for that, we've got our rocker completely in place, welded in. I'm not gonna go grinding any of it right now. I've got lots of grinding to do with the rest of this, so this is how it's gonna be left for now, because body work will come closer to the end, and these don't affect refitting doors or anything, so these are gonna stay like that. Okay, so like I was saying, with everything done, we're gonna do all the grinding at the end just because we have a front of a rocker that still needs to be finished. It's mainly just because there was other pieces that this one didn't quite fit up as well as I wanted up there, so I'm gonna make some new pieces for it. Put in the stiffening box that I removed from the bottom. And we have a quarter panel that we have to deal with. I gotta widen these a little bit, and I wanna do some extra work to make my 17 by 10s fit, which I kinda wanna show off, so. This right here is my Pia Nakajima. They are 17 by 10. I've got 245 40s on them. I want to go with a little bit wider tire up top because I don't want the stretch that this has. I want a little bit more straight. This stretch was to fit them under the rockers, and they really didn't, as they tore up the sidewall pretty badly. But this is kind of where we're going to be able to fit these. They have been re-drilled to 5120 to fit the car instead of converting the car to 5114, just because at the time I had an abundance of BMW wheels. Now I don't really have any other cars that require 5 lug like this. My other one is the Jetta and it's 5100, so I'm not going to convert both to have it. But we have these. We're going to make them fit under here. I'm going to show you how to widen the arches, make them look nice again, get rid of this rolled bacon rusted edge out of it, and make these look good on there, because they look damn fine as it is already. But with that, I hope you all have a great night. This has been the Hand-Built channel. E36 is underway, and I hope you like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more content, because like I said, we have lots to go.